Hegyeshalom, located just across the border from Austria into Hungary, and a very well known place for lots of long distance trains on their routes between Vienna and Budapest and even beyond. But from here on, we'll be catching a very tiny train to Slovakia. Join me here from Hegyeshalom, if I pronounce it right, in Hungary to Bratislava, what's not that far away from here, the capital of Slovakia. It's a short journey, it's a regional train, but it is an international train, so ticks the box for this channel. For now, let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. I arrived in Hegyeshalom in Hungary by regional train I took from Austria. However, it's also a well-known spot for long-distance trains on the route between Budapest and Vienna. Many of these long-distance trains between Budapest and Vienna do cover a bigger distance, and this is just a section of the entire route. Anyway, that's not the train that we'll be taking today, and also the train that took me here was a very small regional train, and there will be another trip report about that regional train as well. Even though quite a lot of the long distance trains do call here, also quite some other long distance trains just pass by at this railway station, like for example this Austrian Railjet train. What I noticed is that mainly the Eurocity trains do make a call here, and Railjet trains, well, I think more than half is just passing by over here. For railway enthusiasts, this is just a great station. There's so many trains passing by over here. Not just passenger trains, but also quite a lot of freight trains. Anyway, like pretty much always for the Trainviking trip reports, before we go to the train, let's discover the railway station where we are departing from today. What is once again Hegyeshalom in Hungary, what is close to both the Austrian and the Slovak border. Hegyeshalom has a population of around 3,600 people. What's not that much? And when you realized that this small railway station has quite a lot of long distance trains, it's actually quite impressive. It's mainly because of the location close to the border. Around the railway station there are some shops, and as far as I noticed, this is a kind of the town center. Like in a good Eastern European tradition, or I basically should say at the eastern side of the former Iron Curtain European tradition, a steam engine is exhibited at the front of the railway station, or close to the railway station I should say. Something else you find close to the railway station or some bus stops. But apart from that, there's not that much going on over here. The building that hosts the railway station is actually quite big. I think this is also partially being used for railway staff. And if you go inside the railway station building from the town center, this is the main entrance. Although there is a kind of a park around it, and you can also go straight to the platform, so it's not always the most obvious way to go in. At this spot, you will find a small waiting area with a screen with information about departing trains. There is a staffed ticket counter, and you will also find toilets at this spot. Apart from the staffed ticket counter, there's also a vending machine where you can buy train tickets. I have to say, you can buy easily train tickets within Hungary online, although the website of the Hungarian state-owned railway company Mavstart is not the most user-friendly website, to be honest. At the other side of the railway station building, there are also more places where you can take a seat while you wait for your train, even when it's raining, like here on the right, and there is a kind of a park over here. Actually, I like the green space. In the kind of a park, there's also another screen with information about departing trains, where my train was also already listed. In terms of numbers of trains that do pass by over here, whether they make a stop or not, it's not a quiet railway line. However, you will not find a guarded railroad crossing, what surprised me in a way. Even though I noticed that trains really reduce the speed if they are here, but well, just pay extra attention if you cross the railroads. Anyway, this here is the tiny train that's coming in that will take me to Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. It's a Slovak rail class 840. These are very tiny trains, but they're good enough to serve the job. I hope you like this video so far. If you do so, or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feedback, or even if you just want to say hello, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling. Well, this is not a long distance, but it's definitely an international train. But then hit the subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's continue with this video. However, quickly before we do that, let's have a close look on the environmental impact if you're traveling on this route by train or car. And the train is the absolutely winner, of course. When it comes to travel time, it's pretty equal. Although, one thing I really have to say about this route, the frequency is not that great for the trains. These trains do operate approximately every 2 hours. What's not that great, but since it's not a busy railway line, it also makes sense that there are not more trains along this route. Before we go into the train, let's take a quick look at the exterior of the train. This train comes in one class only, and for the same reason, classes are not being mentioned at the side of the train. Basic icons like what can be found where, like basically the accessible area, that's basically it, have been marked at the side of the train as well. LED screens at the front and the back of the train do host the final destination. The very front and the very back of the train does come in a 3x2 composition, or 3x2.5 basically. What is, well, I first thought also like the rest of the train, but as you can see, the rest of the train comes in a 2x2 configuration. I mean, it's not a big train at all. Basically 2 carriages, and in the middle between these 2 carriages you will find the diesel engines. There are screens all over the train that will host route information. This is pretty detailed, and announcements are being made automatically in, of course, Slovak, Hungarian and also in English. For this journey there's one stop on request, and these buttons here and here can be used for the stop on request, or you can go to the train staff to ask. These are really modern and quite comfortable trains for a shorter journey. I mean, they're definitely not suitable for a longer distance. I mean, the seating pitch is okay, but not great. For those traveling with bikes, there are lots of spots where you can put your bikes in, and if you put this thing up, you can also put your skis here in the winter time. Right next to the bike areas, there are some folding seats as well. You cannot reserve spots for bikes, and seats also can't be reserved. Of course, no train tour is complete without showing you the toilets. And during this trip I tried it twice. Basically at the railway station of Hegyeshalom in Hungary and at the railway station of Bratislava, but twice the toilet was locked. Maybe they did this on purpose, or maybe I was just unlucky. But for now, let's just do a seat review. I'm quite a tall guy, and I think if someone else of my length is sitting opposite from me, it's not that great. But in general you should be fine on this. At the side near the window there's a small litter bin right under the table. For luggage you do find the overhead luggage racks all over the train. And honestly, I don't know what else I should say about these trains. About tickets. In general, and I mentioned this in many places within Europe, TRAINLINE is great. But TRAINLINE does not work for this route. My advice is to go to the website of ZSSK, that's the state-owned railway company of Slovakia, where you can buy the tickets straight away. At the moment of recording, it only costs €3.40 for a full fare ticket. For this route, I also filmed the views from the train, uncutted with real sounds, and you can find that video on the Trainviking Passenger POV YouTube channel. It's listed in the description of this video. And in this video, I'll show you some basic glimpses I had from the train along this route. That's it on board of this very regional train between Hegyeshalom and Bratislava Petržalka, if I pronounce everything right at least. It's not a frequent train, it's not super busy either, so it's in terms of important international connections, I don't think it's that important. But it's a nice international connection. I will take this train here to Vienna, and it continues back to Hungary again after Vienna. I did a trip report on this once on the route Bratislava-Vienna. Might be interesting to make it for the entire route to Hungary again, I don't know. Let me know if you want to see that in the comments. Anyway, for now, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it or this has been helpful to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. And once again, if you'd like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. And this was an international train for sure. Before we really end up this video, one very last thing. Once again, thank you for watching. Related videos can be found in the description of this video, and something else you find in the description of this video is a link to a map where you can find all videos as well, but then on a map. Of course, you can also subscribe to see new videos coming up, and Passionate POV videos can be found on the Trainviking Passionate POV YouTube channel.